Stirring my coffee with chopsticks. Using the vortex method. The best way to optimize the taste of your coffee on a molecular level. Good morning, welcome to Daybreak. My name is George Bruno, also known as the Sultan of Silver. Going over some thoughts for you. If she's telling you about men that are coming on to her, men that are coming back in her life, if she's sharing that information with you, you think she's just being honest. Well, I'm just being honest with you. Let me tell you something, boys. The hunger has already kicked in. Something is up. The hunger has kicked in, and it's a hunger that you're not filling. I want you to consider that. If it's a marriage, there's a reason why she's doing it if you're married. I always like to say, I don't want to save marriages. I don't believe marriages are savable. There's a lot of people who contend that that's wrong. I don't think so. I'd rather save a man than save a marriage. It's much easier. And you only have to deal with one cracked person as opposed to two cracked people. And the cracks will always be there. I don't care if you're a Christian or not. Be careful of the lady that tells you about how attractive she is and how people are always coming on to her and how men are always dropping hints. Be careful of that woman. I have a client older than me. He grew up in the 50s. They lived in a country area. He said his father always wore a suit and hat whenever he went into town. It's better to be part of the lowdown than be part of the down low. I have a picture pinned to my wall, an image of you and of me, and we're laughing and loving it all. The Thompson twins, 1983. Never let an idea escape. Write down or log them. Great ideas die every day because they are not written down. Memory is a weak slave when it comes to preserving and nurturing brand new ideas. Healthy, creative people know an idea can sprout at any time in any place. That's why I always carry a notepad. I don't even rely on my mobile device to put my ideas in. I think that literally writing something down puts it into the brain, and do it when it happens. That's why you sleep with a notepad and a pen or pencil on your nightstand, that you're always carrying a notepad in your back pocket or backpack or briefcase or anywhere. I have a friend, a new friend, who has poker chip business cards. They're literally real poker chips. And I remember when a guy gave me a poker chip business card 2.5 years ago. Now check this out. 2.5 years ago, I got this poker chip business card. Had his information, his website on it, just a real poker chip. I should have had it here and showed you. How many people have given me business cards in the past 2.5 years at events or networking things? I lost track because those cards eventually get chucked or filed away or lost, and I forget them. I still have the poker chip. I still remember this guy. Our interchange only lasted 45 seconds. It wasn't even 1 minute, but I still remember it. Maybe that's not a bad technique for you. Have your business card printed or your information printed on a poker chip and always have a pocket of those ready to give out to anyone at any time. You are making yourself memorable. If people forget your name, because I am a master networker, those that know me know that I work a room like nobody else. And I memorize names and I memorize people and what they do. And I take full responsibility for people knowing who I am and what I do and how to reach me. If people forget who you are, let me just sit you down right now. If people forget who you are, it's not their fault. It's your fault. You have to take complete responsibility for people knowing who you are and what you do. And the strategy of preeminence means that when they think XYZ, they think you. For instance, when you think men's grooming, you think of me. That's not an accident. I worked real hard at creating that reputation, and I'm building another reputation as well. What are you known for? And if people don't know it, it's your fault. So start working on that. Usually, texts from my former beta harem start arriving on Thursdays because women are trying to line up betas for the weekend. People don't like it at first when you unplug from the dating matrix, and as soon as you unplug, they ramp up their efforts. Men, position yourself, don't prospect. Game means confidence in yourself. People are going to wonder, who is that guy? And it all starts with how you look. I hate singles events and singles groups. I belong to a few, and there's a certain group that I won't mention that started boring the heck out of me. A bunch of what I would call socially incestuous losers who have all kissed and fucked each other over a period of time, although you'll never know it. If you start seeing a girl in a singles group, you can bet that 2 or 3 other guys have been there before you. No, thank you. So I had to unplug from the dating matrix and position myself so I'm not doing the wishing and hoping and begging with high mileage, low value women. Position yourself. No more prospecting. I'm seeing a lot of either or stuff on the web. Things like you can be rich, have 6-pack abs, be tan, drive a Lamborghini, and still not have character. And my attitude is, you know what? You can be jacked, have 6-pack abs, be rich, drive a great car, and have character. You can have it all. They're not mutually exclusive. You can work on everything. The people who usually say that are the losers who don't want to do the work and be the best version of themselves. It's a little too overwhelming for them. Anyone that says just be yourself has never been in sales, can't sell. They demonize sales, and they're usually broke. Ask your barber or stylist for a scissors-only haircut. Scissor cuts lay nice, they grow out beautiful, and they last longer. You don't get poofy mushroom head or the mowed lawn prickly look. Even though my styling arsenal is pretty huge, my top tools are scissors, comb, and a spray bottle. That's all I need. Now, the biggest offenders in that are usually quote-unquote cosmetologists or lady barbers, because they know they can do a fast 20-minute haircut with a 3.5 on the sides and scissor cut the top and mess it up a little bit with product, give you a low-end canned beer, boobs coming out of the shirt. Shortcuts. Shortcuts equal shit cuts. That's why the general public likes me more than my hair professional peers, because I don't take shortcuts. And I'm like the magician that reveals the secrets of other magicians. Contrary to all the Febreze commercials, I never walked into a bathroom, took a sniff, and smiled and said, That never happened. If someone can ruin your life with one phone call, then you need to rethink your life. This ain't no party, this ain't no disco, this ain't no fooling around. No time for dancing or lovey-dovey. I ain't got time for that now. Talking Heads, 1979. Never keep a job that you don't enjoy if you can't find the courage to fire yourself. You better hope that somebody else will. Boost up your hand game. I can't tell you how many times I've sat across a table from a woman and she says to me, you know, you have really nice hands. You know why she's thinking that? Because she's imagining those hands holding her hand, touching her, being on her. Hand game is huge. Conversely, if your hands are gnarly, calloused, and dirty, she's thinking, holy crap, I can't imagine those hands on me. And some dude was actually arguing with me once and said, my calloused, dirty hands remind me of how hard I work and how much harder I work than other people. And my first thought was, you probably spend most weekends alone. That's the first thing. And number two, dude, your bank account and wallet should be the very first things that tell you how hard you work, not your hands. Step up your hand game, guys. It's huge. Women look at a man's hands the same way men will look at women's feet. They can be deal breakers. Don't kid yourself. Great looking masculine hands are like the Disney Fast Pass. Right to the front of the line. Don't doubt me on this. Great hands get lucky. And I'm not talking about having feminized hands either. I'm talking about just nice, manicured, clean, moisturized hands. "75% of women's pics were taken by the last 3 guys who bought them dinner and blanked them over a weekend getaway. The hot dress doorway pic before going out, the sitting on the hotel bed picture, the across the dinner table with the head tilted. Those pics were taken by the last 3 guys. Imagine going out with a girl and not taking her picture. That'd really jam her up, wouldn't it? She says, I have to be in love to do that, or I'll stay single forever before I do that. Okay. So far in my carnivory journey, I have found that beef fills me up more than anything. Chicken and fish don't fill me up the way beef does, although the goal is not to be filled up. I found that the most satisfying thing is a steak. Zero hunger. I'm satisfied all day. It makes me want to drink 3 times as much water. I've never drank so much water in my life, and I'm loving it. And it was so hard to do before. Negotiate everything from reality, not how you desire things to be. Case in point, you meet someone and you fall in love with them. You must realize that they had a life before you, and they have to realize that you had a life before them. So then you have to decide with your internal scoreboard what things you want to live with or not. For instance, people who've had 2 or 3 marriages usually end up hooking up with people who've had 2 or 3 marriages. Can you live with that? Vegans tell me every time I eat red meat, I take 6 minutes off my life. Well, based upon that math, I should have died in 1732. Your colonoscopy report just came back. They found your head. Instagram serves one main purpose. It gives people a platform who have nothing to say. Taking care of yourself is taking care of your partner. I'll say this again, if you're in a relationship with a woman, she doesn't care how much you work out. You know what she cares about? She cares that you work out, that you're constantly improving yourself. And I'll say it again, I said this in the past. If she dresses nicer for a girl's night out than she does with you, you're pretty much in trouble. If she starts telling you about, or your relationship is in trouble, you're not in trouble. If she starts telling you about men who are asking her out and giving a number and coming on to her and so forth, there's a reason for that. And that reason originates with her. Do not put that burden on you. Don't think that you are doing something wrong. Well, maybe I'm not complimenting her enough. Bullshit. That's her nature. That's what she is. That's what she's going to do. It's not you. Now, maybe you need to step up your game in general as a man, across the board, not just with her, but as a man. But if she needs to tell you, and I contend that women don't want, but they need to tell you how attractive they are and desirable they are to other men. If that's part of your relationship that starts surfacing after a period of time, it's only going to get worse. I don't want you to get engaged or fall in love or think about marriage or talk about marriage for the first 2 years, because crazy does show up after about 2 years. Anyone can be on their best behavior for 2 years, but they can't help it after a couple years. But I'm getting older. I don't want to wait forever. Okay, well then do you want to accelerate your pain? Don't do that. Well, that's all I have for today. I hope you take a nugget and it benefits you somehow, some way. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, please, and hit the notification button. It's a little bell. You press that. That way you get the content every time I create it. Every time there's an upload, you get an alert about this content. If you would like to sponsor the Daybreak Show on a regular basis, that would be wonderful. You can email me at gb@georgebruno.com. If you would like to sponsor an evening show or a topical show on a regular basis, that's what I'm looking for, is regular sponsors. Email me, gb@georgebruno.com. If you would like to push your product and have me talk about your product, I'm not a QVC, I'm not selling here. If I don't like your product, I can't talk about it. Sponsor a show, 1 or 2 shows, or an entire series, or make it a regular thing. Repetition is the mother of learning. If people don't know about you and your business and your products, it's not their fault, it's your fault. There's over 70,000 people that are subscribed to this channel. 96% of them are men. Do you want to reach men between the ages of 18 and 54? Email me, gb@georgebruno.com. Don't forget to visit the sponsors down below in the comment section. There's a few things down there that I think that you would like. Take one of these nuggets today and write it down on a 3x5 card and look at it. Whatever one appealed to you. And let me know in the comment section what spoke to you today. That's super important. That gives me feedback and lets me know that I'm touching my audience with content that's helpful to them. Get out there and kill it today. You can do it, man. All right. Thanks.